Why do they always give these places such weird names? I guess there's no sense in delaying this any further. Name, John Scriber. Education, engineering. Let's see, potential traumatic triggering events. Combat experience, nope. Vehicular crash, car, plane, train, boat, nope. Sexual or physical abuse, rape, kidnapping, nope. Natural disaster, nope. Terrorist attack, nope. None of these apply directly, but if I would have to pin it down, this would be the closest. But we didn't actually crash, and it was a ship, not a boat. General PTSD symptoms, check all applicable. Intrusive memories, yes. Flashbacks, no. Panic attacks, yes. Emotional hypersensitivity, yes. Emotional numbness, yes. Hyperarousal, yes. Sleep disorders, insomnia, yes. Sense of detachment, yes. Dissociative state, yes. Other problems. Yeah, I have another problem. PTSD doesn't bleed. All these questions and they still don't know what PTSD is. If you ask me, I've just tripped some old protection system in my head, like the behavior of lost children I've observed. Modern parents teach their children to fear strangers with warnings of "don't talk to strangers" and "stranger danger." Still, children will sometimes vanish from a crowd without anyone noticing their disappearance. Why? The parents have inadvertently triggered an old protection system that makes no sense here, but makes perfect sense out here. Mother Nature. I'm not going to say evolution because I have a real problem with Darwin's theory, has provided children with instincts to protect themselves. Nature has taught children not to talk to strangers. We call this being shy. But there was a time when there was a much bigger problem. The technical term for a child lost in the wilderness is lunch. When lost out here, a child will move to a place of relative safety and wait to be found. They will not make a sound, for that will only alert predators to their plight. The child then does something quite ingenious. If a friendly stranger walks by, they will follow the stranger. Why? They are trying to fool the predators into believing the stranger is their parent. And that is why modern children sometimes disappear. Since the child has been taught to fear strangers, fear drives the child to seek a secluded place and wait to be found. Then, since children are taught not to talk to strangers, good strangers will not talk to the child. The only one who will talk is the pedophile who sees a lone child in a secluded place. He approaches and the child instinctively follows in behind. Anyone seeing them will believe the pedophile is the parent, just as predators used to be fooled. So by not talking to strange children, we are just abandoning our children to the predators. And talking about predators, I have a real problem with Darwin's theory of evolution. Survival of the fittest. Yeah, right. If the fittest survived, the largest predators would consume all other animals and then starve to death. That is not the pattern seen in nature. The only way that this system could possibly work is if there was some factor that acted to negate the process of natural selection. We just have to find it. The first point to consider is that there are two opposing factors. It is difficult for one species to do both. Therefore, we must split each species into two subspecies, with each taking care of one factor. For lack of a better choice, we will call these subspecies male and female. Within this group, a small number would be naturally selected to breed. Within this group, every survivor would breed. This group would reduce diversity in the population and drive the evolution of the species. This group would increase diversity and cause attributes to slide. This group drives attributes required to survive into the DNA code. This group causes every attribute not required for survival to slide out. This group strengthens the population. This group weakens it. If allowed to continue unabated, this group would cause every species to slide into extinction. To stop this, the weakest of their numbers must be eliminated. Thus, there is the requirement for the predator-prey relationship. If the predators gain an advantage through a beneficial birth defect, more of the females survive to breed. This weakens the species. The decreased survival rate of the prey causes natural selection to strengthen their form. They become stronger until the balance is re-established. The delicate balance of nature does not seem quite so delicate anymore. The evolution in the various species comes about as each species locates its natural balance point in the system. The species that dominate are the ones that can remove randomness from the selection process. We will call an attribute that is being strengthened by the process of natural selection a driver, while an attribute that is being weakened by the process of natural deselection will be called a slider. The system works well for attributes that behave in a linear fashion, such as the size of an animal. It fails when one encounters a non-linearity. For example, if the females start caring for their young, there will come a point when the predators will lose too many of their numbers in attacks. They will stop attacking the young. This will cause too many of the young to survive, causing the species to slide into extinction. The only way a species can make this transition is to accept an attribute that will make it harder for the young to survive. Animals with warm blood force their members to eat far more food, making it difficult for the young to survive. This is why classes of animals that are known to take care of their young all have warm blood. Such an attribute will be called a crippler. So, attributes that give a species an evolutionary advantage are not always directly beneficial to the individual. Maybe I'm seeing this wrong. Broken hearts don't bleed, and no one doubts they exist. While I'm sitting here, I wonder if I can figure out what a broken heart is. When our ancestors left the trees, they left the protection provided by the trees, and they entered the realm of fast four-legged predators that used a tried and true method of hunting. They run the herd. And it is here where a problem with balance arises. Since the child is carried forward of her center of balance, a pregnant female cannot run fast. On the open plains, pregnancy was a death sentence. To survive, the human species needed an emotion that would force the baby's father to stay with the mother and provide close personal protection. As long as the pair stayed together, they could protect each other. Love evolved to defeat the predatory tactic of dividing the slow and weak. The individual would rather face the teeth of a hungry lion than endure the agony of the broken heart. And that is why love hurts. Love is an emotion. But what are emotions? I wonder if I can use my engineering experience to figure it out.